China, and welcome to Voices of Truth One-on-One with Hawaii's Future, brought to you by the Kiwani Foundation. I'm Ehuke Kahu Cardwell, and here we are today on the island of Maui, and I'll tell you this right now, we have a fascinating guest on the show, so let's go on over here and meet her. Alohalani. Aloha. How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Good. Introduce yourself to everybody.
Well, my name is Jade Alohalani Smith. I prefer to be called Alohalani, and I live here in Kaupo. I wanted to share with you that we are in a new project coming up through a partnership with Ahamoku and Hawaiian Island Land Trust, HILT, and we're going to be building a cultural hale here.
A cultural house.
Yes.
Wow. And why would you build it here, Alohalani?
We chose this spot because this was once a thriving village where they did the hukilau in this specific area. The area was chosen by Francis and Nancy, along with all of us in the partnership. And so he wanted it close to the ocean so that when we bring educational programs and trainings here for the community, that we will have that, I guess, ambiance of the ocean, the pa'akai, you know. So he had chosen this specific area.
What you said, if I understand you correctly, is that many, many years ago, maybe 1,000 years ago, there was a thriving village of Hawaiians here, yes?
Correct.
Right here?
Correct.
How many people lived here at the time?
I believe it was 20 to 30,000 people.
Really? 20 to 30,000 people right in here?
And above, way further up. But yes, this
Wow.
was their port. We have the Nu'u landing there. You'll see remnants at the area there, but they also had like a pa'akai hale.
And that's a salt house?
Yes.
And it's over here? It was over here?
It was over here up on the top there.
A salt house is used for what?
It was for preserving their me'ai, their food, to heal. You know, when they got sick, they would put stuff in to cure it. But it was a high demand because out here they didn't have any ice box or anything to preserve their food. So
no refrigeration.
They depended, highly upon the salt, the pa'akai.
So in other words, the reason the salt house, the hale pa'akai was out here was they'd go into the ocean, catch the fish, bring the fish and preserve it in there so it would keep for a while.
Right.
Wow. Wow, and how large was the salt house?
You know, I haven't seen it. Out here, it's such a lost village that it's hard. The kupunas all basically left. So we're picking up bits and pieces and learning from each other about it. But I heard it was fairly big. We also had cattle that went out through this area to the ship that was outside. So they also had to put pa'akai on the beef and so forth.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they would ship beef out, they'd load it up on a ship out here
Yeah.
and take it out to other parts.
Yeah, they would hook them on to boats
Uh-huh.
and then take them out, and then the ship would load them up.
Wow. So when did you first learn the history of this area, Alohalani?
I knew it as a little girl, but did not know too much about it. So my father used to bring us out here. My family actually come from Kohala and was once here. And so as I grew up as an adult, I became more aware and started learning about the place. It wasn't only until Ahamoku that I took that serious, that, you know what, I should go back to my roots and find out what was here. And so there's a collaboration going on with some archaeologists that I'm working with, that we can start the baseline for history here, because everything's lost. That's what we're all finding out.
So that's kind of unique about this place, and because most places in Hawaii, the ancient knowledge was somehow preserved and handed down, yeah?
Correct.
But not here. Why?
I really don't understand that. They don't even have any type of palapala, any paperwork that, you know, shows things that was here. But, you know, that's the hard work that I have ahead of me, is that we have to pick up the pieces, and we need to bring the community and those who are attached through descendancy to come back and revive it. And I think it's wonderful because we will really have that connection to bring it back to life. And that's the goal here.
Wow. So when you say bring it back to life, Alohalani, are you talking about literally reestablishing a village of people that live
Correct.
here? Really?
Correct. And HILT, Hawaiian Island Land Trust, they are willing to work with us. We would become stewards of the area. And again, the Halipaukai is a big, big project for us in many ways. Kaupo, we don't have much places to gather. This would be the hub. So that's exciting.
Wow. So would 20 to 30,000 people be living here once again, just like the old times, or far less?
Well, I cannot see the future, but you know, that's a hard one. It's more focused on bringing back the lost culture and reviving that. So yeah, you never know.
Wow.
They may come.
Wow. So I'm assuming that this whole area is first going to have to be cleared, yes?
Not the whole area, but pretty much this lower section here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they're talking about removing the trees so that we could have a better visual and you know, people can park and gather. Right now they allow certain for people to camp here, you know, and fish and gather and stuff like that. But yeah, this would be the main hub.
And so the hales, the houses that would be built here, would be according to ancient times versus a modern house, yes?
Correct. Nothing but the way it used to be, so that it'll be a natural, you know, structure within its features. But it's basically one. We try to think maybe we could have more, but because we have historical sites here, we can only have one at the moment. But that's okay because it'll bring everyone in.
Let's talk about that hale, that house that's to be built over here.
Okay.
How soon are you guys going to build it?
Well, we just got word that we are waiting on another hale to be built in another location, and so the master builder he'll be coming after. So I'm thinking it's maybe mid this year.
So he's going to be obviously bringing all the supplies in here with him to build the house, yes?
Well, not necessarily. He actually mentioned that there is enough resources here. We have all the ili rocks, we have the sand, we have the kiawe posts that could keep the structures. The only thing that needs to come in is from Waihe'e, is the ironwood. So it's to cut and cure in the ocean, and then we'll transport it here. But other than that, he said this is like an easy build because we have all the resources here.
Everything is right here.
Yeah.
Wow. So do you think that way back when that village was 20, 30,000 people strong, that's why they selected this site, because everything was here?
I would think so, you know, and it was by the abundance prior to now. So, you know, I mean, they had a lot of, you know, hales up here. So yeah, I would say it was easy at the picking.
Driving in here today, we noticed a sign, a code of conduct sign.
Oh,
Tell
yeah.
us about that.
Yeah, the code of conduct sign was started through Ahamoku. Once I got the community together, we actually started a code of conduct for the association that I revived. And so I took it further, and I knew they were having problems here with people, you know, doing their own things, desecrating the area. So I had asked if we could help share our service. And so what I did, which they accepted, was get the whole community involved. So we had like Kaupo Ranch, we had everybody involved, and it was really wonderful. They had great ideas, but we only could fit so much on the sign. And so it's a proud piece of art to us that, you know, we can help people to maintain their space and place here. And so that was a success.
Okay, so tell us what the rules are. What's the proper conduct in a place like this?
Okay. So when using the restroom, so they've provided 2 restrooms. As you can see, we have a compost in the back there, and there's a latrine here. But it's basically taking your rubbish. If you have others that's fishing, please mind your area and your section. It's mainly to really take care of the natural resources. When you leave, you take all your rubbish, and if it's not yours, try to help and take that out with you. So it was a lot. If you hear anything or see something suspicious, then we would report it in as well.
In other words, so what you're saying is to take care of the area, respect the area,
Correct.
and both honor and respect the history of this area.
Right, because there's a lot of archaeological sites here too that we are watching as well.
Tell us about some of those archaeological sites. What are you finding here?
Well, because they're starting the baseline, there is the pictographs that they have, the petroglyphs that they have here, which is really interesting. There's a cave back there where you could see when they occupied that cave, they had shells and they had small little ads for, digging out cuckoo shell.
Tools, in other words.
Tools and stuff. So, and it stays there. It remains there.
So the tools are still in there.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we try to, keep an eye on it and so forth. There's a heiau up here. There's platforms of burials up there on the lava.
Really?
Yeah. And it's interesting how they are. They're all flat, and you'll see a coral on the top. So that really showed that, okay, there's somebody there. That's the reason why we had chosen the Halipa'akai down here too, is because it would interfere with the rest of the archaeological sites that we have here.
So there's lots left here to
Lots.
explore and discover.
Lots. Our house burned down in 2005, and in 2006 we had the earthquake. And it gave this whole community a rattle because we got stuck in our community. The roads on both sides collapsed.
Because of the earthquake.
Because of the earthquake. So we had to work as a community. So I started inviting the community to come out. I had the green light that we will have the property for our community. So it was exciting. So what I drafted in my disaster plan was also to have a financial plan so we could maintain the facility as well. So I did this whole visual on this 2-acre. I invited the community. I introduced a hamoku. We also wanted to restore the 2 structures that's there. And because one of them is registered on the federal historical site, we have to go through a different protocol. So that meant I really needed community help. So we got the association up and running in 2013. I became the president of the association. And so my dream was to also come back here, but work at one area first. So the school was to open it up for community, whether it was Red Cross, which I also joined, and I became more involved because they helped me when the house burned down. They helped the community when we had the earthquake. I just had this dream that, this community can pull together and those related or from the district to make something of it. And this is the area that I chose because it was the thriving village that we all can learn history. It was an inspiration to start the process. And that's why I'm here. I am so proud. And Ahamoku has given me that dream.
Alohalani, you said you had the fire, your house burned down in 2005.
Yes.
And in 2006, barely a year later, the earthquake occurred.
Yes.
Okay, so after that, when this community was cut off because of the collapse of the roads, no in, no out, how long did it take you to reestablish things, to get things going again, so people could come and go and they could live, like at least a halfway decent life?
Okay. It took 2 years.
2 years.
2 years. It took them, the county, 3 months to get in here. In between all of that, it was hard to travel in and out. Like the Manawai Nui Gulch, we had boulders just falling all the time because there were cracks in the wall. So with the erosion of rain and wind, new boulders were falling all the time. If we were to travel the road, it was risking our own lives, which we did. We would go out for kupuna. We had the Department of...
For the elders, you go out and get stuff for them and
Yeah.
bring it back in.
Now, as I reconnect to my culture with others through the other 11 mokuts, it's an awesome deal. I mean, we're all learning together. We're all standing firm and bringing that right back up to educating our generations to come.
Wow. Did the Red Cross come out here and play a big role when the disasters occurred?
A huge role. They were the first ones ever to make both disaster sites in appearance. So, they played a big role that I actually became one of the volunteers.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And so obviously, because a disaster happened here once, it could possibly happen again, yeah?
Oh, we are prone to a lot of them. We have fires, it has a lot of fires all the time, and we have floods, we have homes burnt down. yes.
Why is this area like that, prone to those type of things?
Sometimes it's man-made. You know, people come out, cars were being burnt. Anybody left the car on the side, it would be burnt.
So it's not nature's forces, it's people doing this
It's
stuff.
people too.
Wow.
Yeah, we have
Wow.
a variety.
So are you guys gonna stock supplies and things like that here?
Yeah, I'm working with the American Red Cross right now. There's a container that they've gotten through the help with Matson and Goodfellow, and we're going to bring it in, store it on our property, and have tents, cots, blankets, resources that we need when it happens, because it never fails. We're always prone to it. So
Wow.
yeah.
Was that a big deal to try to get those supplies here in ready and shape the next time?
Yeah, because helicopter time is expensive,
And that's the way it has to come in.
and that's the only way.
Wow.
So that's why, you know, by doing that, it'll cut expenses, it'll get help to the particulars when that happens, because we also have a lot of tour vans out here. The traffic, you're not going to believe, but on a daily basis, I track these, I gain my data. It's 1,100 to 1,700 per day.
Wait a minute. You mean to tell me 1,100, 1,700 people per day?
Correct.
Tourists come through here?
Amazing, yeah.
Wow.
Correct. And that's only because we do have our Haleakala National Park, Kipahulu, so they're always packed. So most of them come out this way.
Do you think that those two disasters, the fire and the earthquake, actually drove you down here to discover this and decide that you wanted to revitalize this? I mean, were the ancestors, did they play a role in this?
I don't know. It was energies that pulls me here, and I still have that. You know, I even wrote a song. You know, and I really am deeply inside connected, and I don't know why. Sometimes I wonder why, but I understood that once upon a time, Kohala, where my family comes from, and Kaikinui and Kaupo were all one district back then.
All connected.
It was considered one district. So then I realized why we have all these, you know, family roots in certain specific areas, and then, you know, it's like, I don't know, there's such a great energy that I feel compelled that I'm doing the right thing, that I want to cry. This place had touched me and brought me back here, and for hours I just sat there and just, why am I here? And okay, I'm feeling this. Well, let me write a song. Let me figure out. Let me plan. Let me do something that we can bring that back to the people.
Have you always lived your life in this area? Were you born here?
No, I married into the district. It's funny. We were from the district, but I married into the district not knowing my roots. But I married a small cattle rancher, and we would come out on weekends and work the cattle. And it's not cattle to make money, it's cattle for a tradition that his family does. And we love it. It's bringing the families in again, and we work hard, and you know, we're actually maintaining vegetation in the properties that they stay in, which is a big help. So yeah, I came to live in Kaupo. I preferred Hana, which that's where we're really from, but I love it here too. And now I understand the dynamics. Why? Because there was that, you know, transfer from Kohala to here and so forth to go around to Hana.
Transfer all the way from the Big Island.
From the
Hawaii
Big Island.
to here. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So Alohalani, you know, let's say maybe 10, 20 years ago, what was this like? What were people visiting in here? Were people camping in here or what?
Oh, people were camping.
Really?
Yeah. And there's also another area, it's called Panikiavi on that side. And the public still, they continue to camp out there. They can't camp up here. But right here, this is where they sectioned it off because it has a lot of areas that they don't want people to touch and to protect and perpetuate everything here. So yeah, it wasn't, it was open, but we didn't have the population and the traffic that came in here. Those that came in here respected and knew, and you know, just drove through or did what they had to do to gather, and they would take off again.
But nobody at that time knew the history of this area, did they?
No,
Wow.
no. You know, there's some, and I spoke to a few pupunas and they're like, well, if anything happens, it goes down with me, you know, and it's like, don't want to share it with us. It's like, no, something shouldn't be shared. Okay, we understood that, but it was like, okay, so that still means we have to pick up the pieces. And so that's where we stand at this point.
I know you have some ideas about starting a business as it relates to all of this, yes?
Correct.
Tell us about that.
Well, I have a startup business. It's called Alohalani. It's a food trailer. And I started that up in 2011. And I am still open till today. But I utilize it as a hub for information and education.
But you sell food. It's a movable trailer, and you sell food out of it. People can walk up to it and buy a lunch or a snack or something like that,
yes,
right?
Chili and rice, hot dogs, simple things, you know, just to get them through the district. Not like a plate lunch, but shave ice cream. I also have nachos, and then snacks, chips and candies.
Okay, but you have not only food that you dispense, you also have another agenda, right?
Correct.
What is that?
That is actually getting out into the community. So I'm there for our local people, not only for Kaupo, but as they travel for Kenai, they come all the way through the back end. They love the drive and they go home that way, Hana, Kipuhulu. And it's nice to connect with people. But I also give out literature for the Ahamoku o Maui Inc. and what our job is for us. And there's so much. I also give the pamphlets for the national park because we were a part of the newest brochure, which is written in Hawaiian. So I used to work for the national park back in 1996 to 2001, and I helped to facilitate the Kupuna meeting for the summit. And so we came out to the districts, and that's how I got to really connect with the Kupunas.
The elders.
The elders.
Yeah.
And so what happened was they wanted a brochure that was written in Hawaiian and translated in English so that they knew what they were reading. And that came to fruition too. So that was an accomplishment as well.
Okay, so when people walk up to your food trailer, they think they're going to get just a snack or food. What they get is snack or food, and they also get some amazing history. They learn some amazing history about this area, yeah?
Correct.
What has been some of the response or reaction from those people when you hand them the brochure and they start to read about what this place is really about?
You know, the tourists really enjoy it. You know, everybody's so environmental conscious out there. And, you know, they see that I'm out there sharing it and helping them to understand how to take care of our island. I mean, we're a small little rock in the ocean. And so it means a lot to us that if we can help to educate them, they would appreciate it, and they all do. Locally, we have teachers that came out and they saw the Ahamoku brochure and they're like, I should use this in class. I should teach the kids this. And I looked at her, I said, yeah, you should. You know, and I had a college student, she wanted to use it for her thesis, you know, to start that process. And I said, please, you know, that would be awesome. So it's been really nice that I could share a lot of the information and bringing it back to the roots and the culture so that we can all continue to protect and preserve what we have.
Wow. Have you had school classes come out here yet and take a look at this place?
Not yet. That's the goal.
That's the goal.
That's the goal.
Wow.
So that's why we want a place that we can bring them to, because there is no place that they can come, you know, put all their things out and have a meal. So by having this hale pa'akai is the goal, to bring them in and start the process.
So they can learn the history of this area,
Right.
and hopefully maybe they want to also get involved in keeping this area in shape and the history of this area alive and tell it to others, yes?
Yes.
Wow. So I guess there's a word for that, and that's legacy, yes?
Yes. Legacy.
Wow. So there's a heavy-duty legacy here already that you guys can spread far and wide, yeah?
Yeah, and you know, I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for everybody. And that's the whole thing. The recognition is focused back on the people that can bring and enrich and empower everyone, and that we will be united in all this.
Great. Okay, Alohalani, what are the lessons for people when they come here and learn about what was here?
The lessons. Wow. It is how how the culture actually preserved a lot of things. What we see has been lost, but it was thriving once upon a time. So we lost the system of connecting and taking care of this area. And we still have our work ahead of us to do that. And so, yeah, we want to bring that back to everybody. And not everybody's in tune with it. So it's like, okay, how do we get them? You're dealing with people from different worlds, and you want to bring it to fruition, should I say.
You want to have it come alive again for
And
people.
come alive, yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. And that's where we have to leave it today, Alohalani. Thank you so much, mahalo, for bringing us here and showing us this place, teaching us the history of this area. It's truly amazing, and I'm sure it's going to have an impact on a lot of people. So mahalo to you for being on Voices of Truth. Mahalo to our viewers for joining me and Alohalani here. Remember, you can watch us on the web 24/7 on voicesoftruth.tv.com, and you can visit Voices of Truth one-on-one with Hawaii's Future on Facebook. I'm Ehuke Kahu Cardwell for the Kiwani Foundation, along with Alohalani. And until next time, ahui ho! Mahalo for watching Voices of Truth one-on-one with Hawaii's Future. Watch us on the web 24/7 at voicesoftruth.tv.com. You'll find all our shows, including this one, in case you want to see it again or share it with family and friends. Also view our weekly video commentaries at freehawaiitv.com. And check out our blog, published daily, at freehawaii.info. It's all part of the Free Hawaii Broadcasting Network.